Sure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shadow Band Lane, where all the good channels live.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
still trucking along, and I'm so happy to have Fancy and Mac back here on Esoteric Atlanta. I think we're simulcasting, so hello, everybody. I'm so excited. Before we get into it, this might be a bit of a long, oh yes, this might be a bit of a long live, but just so you guys know, for both my channel and for Fancy and Mac's channel, for the Good Wives Network, there's a new feature on the YouTube called Hyping. And this is a way that you can help us who live on Shadow Band Lane. I don't think you can do it during the live, but once we're done, if you go to both of our channels on your cell phone to your comment section, you'll see little dots. You slide it over and hit the hype button. That will help push these videos out to the algorithms. Trust me, guys, we don't make really a whole lot of anything doing this. We're doing this as a labor of love because this is the most wackadoo story. We've had some wackadoo stories.
It's a labor of insanity.
Yeah.
That needs to be a t-shirt, Fancy.
Oh yeah, it's my it's a strawberry shortcake. Isn't it cute?
Oh yes. Yes.
Is it lemon dumpling or lemon drop? I can't remember her name.
I can't remember lemon.
Well, I wore Nope today specifically for Gypsy. So not for Fancy or Mac, but for our friends in the chat, but for Gypsy. Nope. So where do we even begin, ladies? Because what the insanity is going on? There's so much happening. And I was telling you guys, I'm like the peripheral, and I've got so many eggs in baskets with different stories. And I try to keep up with this insanity, but I get it's like the more I learn, the less I know.
Yes.
Like, what are
the more you question your own sanity in the whole thing, because you're like, so 1 minute you're like, no, I am convinced there is absolutely a baby. Okay.
Yes.
She had this baby. That baby's in danger. This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
He won't take the baby away. Oh my God. Why would he have a baby with this murderer? And then 5 seconds later, you pick up the next thing or you scroll and you're like, no, there's no baby. Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. These liars. You know, so it's like,
I'm so on the fence with the baby thing. I'm so on the fence.
Spin around constantly with this whole thing. And every time you think you have something figured out, you just don't.
No, it is. Well, and so many people talk about, like, if there was, like, how would all these people keep this secret? I'm like, if there's enough money in, I'm like, you guys don't understand how the world of entertainment works. If there's enough money involved, people will do shit. And if there's fame, you know,
that's kind of where I'm at with the baby situation. And I kind of, I started off in the beginning of how ridiculous could it possibly be that, she wouldn't have this baby. But then I saw a news story pop up of a girl who did exactly what we're alleging that Gypsy did. She used a reborn baby doll. She used a fake pregnancy belly. She used fake sonograms, and she convinced everyone. And she literally even took the reborn baby doll to people's homes.
I think I remember this, Fancy.
Baby's so cute. Like, I don't even. Okay, so it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility.
Hey, Sue. Hey, Dragon. Kathleen. Hey.
Go, girl. We see you, Kathleen.
Start adding all the factors in, it becomes like you just don't know which way you're spinning, like,
yes.
There's this lesbian couple that they're friends with that have become like really enmeshed in their world. And like, while Gypsy, we thought the lady had only known them like 11 weeks, because if you go by the timeline of events that they've told everybody, so we met her at our this book signing of Kel Rocky. Okay, so that's Kel and Cassie. they're this lesbian couple, and they've meshed themselves with her completely. So if you look at the timeline from the time that they meet Kel Rocky at her book signing, not Gypsy's book signing, Kel Rocky's book signing, which is how they get, kind of together. Yeah. It's only 11 weeks before they take off to Alaska and leave their baby with her, and she's catching the first step. She's da 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 da. Well, then come to find out that's not true at all. Cassie is from the Bayou and has lived there her whole life and went to the same high school as Christy. And
of course,
Christy's last name, which is Gypsy's stepmother's last maiden name, is Mathern. Cassie works for Mathern Dermatology. And about the same time that Gypsy was supposedly having Aurora, okay, there was a post that went out from Gypsy's brother's mother-in-law looking for a nanny, okay? Looking for this nanny. And at the same time, Cal Rocky, the author, was advertising in the same groups that she is a nanny with references and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Well, then our friend True Chrissy and Trixie Lane, they point out to us that the pictures from Christmas are filmed in Dylan's house. You can tell that it's the same tile, the same fireplace. Well, then if you go back and you look, there's a picture of Gypsy in a room that is a nursery. Same tile floor, same crown molding, same thing, everything, the double doors on the thing, all inside of Dylan's home. And she's sitting on the floor folding baby clothes. Why would she be in a nursery at her brother's house folding baby clothes of her own? Was she living there? No. So it just goes on and on and on. And there are people that have come forward stating this is Dylan's baby, that he and his wife, Anita, in December of 2025, right around the time that Aurora was born, adopted this child. And so then you have to start looking into, how did we get here? And I personally believe what happened is that Lifetime wanted this baby story. They were willing to procure a baby, even if it was through adoption, a private adoption, whatever. And then my opinion, and this is only my opinion, is nobody else's. Don't speak for Mac here. She can give her own opinion if she agrees or doesn't agree. I think they left her with this fake baby story when she screwed them over. And so now I think we're looking at a situation of, this is the Ken and Aurora exit strategy.
I was going to ask you that before we started filming. I've heard that and I was like, oh.
Because that makes the most sense. Because what is she going to do? If this baby is not her real baby, and there's no world where I believe that a baby came out of her. There's just way too many inconsistencies in her stories, in what was going on at the time, in the divorce decree not listing any pregnancies or babies or any of that. Like, there's certain things that should have been happening that would indicate there's a child, and none of those things happened. Nothing.
Well, not to mention that, and granted, people are allowed to keep things in their pregnancy private, but Gypsy's a high risk pregnancy.
Yes.
She's sick. She has a sickness.
Yes.
And she is high risk at that point. And she's also very small. So there's risk in the delivery.
Yes.
With her micro deletion, she can sit around and say that she's not affected by it as much as she wants. Girl, you look identical to the poster child. You are, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but you are high on that list of side effects of this micro deletion. And any responsible person who wants to procreate is going to meet with a geneticist to make sure that they don't give this to their child. No parent, no human being wants their child to inherit something that's difficult. Right.
Well, and this is the thing, like, people think that I just hate these people so much and that I want revenge and I'm mad at them for this or that. And here's the thing. When I found out about the microdeletion, the very first thing I did was contact somebody who was in contact with Christy. And I was like, look, I need you to have this information. This affects your grandchildren, your great grandchildren.
Yeah,
You know, this
yeah.
affects Mia, Dylan. You need to have this information. Little did I know they already had the information, you know, and had
But
for
they,
years.
even though they had the information, doesn't mean they were even looking at the information, because when you talk to Rod, he didn't know nothing about it.
No,
I'm
no.
telling you right now, if my child has something, anybody in my family that I love has something, I am looking it up and I am learning everything I can about it. You know what I mean? Especially if I love somebody.
Oh,
I
thank
want to
you,
know
Christy.
I want to know everything I can know.
Right.
And absolutely, everyone wants to get to the truth, and this is the problem as well. Is like, I think this also speaks of a different, a bigger situation we have going on in our world. And yeah, this might seem kind of conspiratorial, but the whole Gypsy story is conspiratorial, you guys. We've been lied to by the media for so long.
Yes.
And my thing is,
because they continue to lie to us. We have the facts. They know we have the facts, and they continue to keep lying.
Yeah.
You know, I got into an argument with ChatGPT over Gypsy Rose a few months back, to the point where I had to walk away. I had to remind myself that this was not a human being. I kept saying, but what about this? But what? Because they kept selling me this story about the Munchausen by proxy, and I was like, no. What about this? What about this? And ChatGPT would be like, I understand it's frustrating to accept that people can be abused by their parents, and I'm like,
oh no,
bro,
I know. I've already, dude. You have no idea.
You don't even know.
Arguing with AI, okay?
Yeah,
about
you don't even know.
I had to walk away. I was like, this is not a human being. It doesn't matter, Bryce. Just walk away.
Just walk away. You're not convincing AI, right? Yeah,
no.
exactly.
So
what? Like, no, this is not right. No, we straight up told ChatGPT, no.
I mean, but the more I learn about this micro deletion, and I want to be very clear, there is lots of chromosomal disorders in the world. Yes. Most of them, I want to make a clarification. I'm talking about specifically the one that Gypsy has, and there are behavior problems associated with this particular micro deletion, and that is what's so concerning. Because could we say it's there's personality disorders? Yeah, we could. But also, if this is a genetic conditioning that's causing her to behave like a psychopath or have a cluster B personality, that is concerning to everybody in the public. And I believe, my personal opinion is, that is why Dee Dee kept her away from people, is because she was violent and she was dangerous. I think Dee Dee was abused by her physically, mentally. There's no one that's going to love you through all that like your mother. No. The one person in this world, that Gypsy, that was going to do everything for you and love you regardless of whatever you got up to, you murdered.
Right.
And when she stood in the way of what she wanted, she had to go.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, and that takes us into this cult-like situation that, you know, we've talked about in the past. And this is what made me reach out to you again, as you were talking. I saw your short where you were talking about the Aurora cult. Now, the thing is that it's well known that the people involved with Gypsy are into some weird stuff, let's just say. Some of them claim to be Luciferians, some of them claim to be whatever, you know. Kim Blanchard's going around telling people she's possessed by a demon. Like, you know, I mean, these people are not regular, everyday, average Joes, okay? And you know, the cult situation, I was talking to Mac the other day, and there's a content creator that I go back and forth with all the time, and it's Karma Collector, and he is really all into the conspiracy theory. In fact, we just got into a huge argument because I won't recognize that his big three is the big three, because I don't give a shit whether she's in a marriage or the baby is or isn't real. The only thing that matters to me is the truth of the case and holding the people accountable in this situation as to why we're here. The lawyers, the doctors, the neighbors, the friends, the media, about how we all got here, right? And that's the thing. But the more and more you learn, the more and more you realize it was a ritualistic killing. And maybe not in the way that people think, you know, like, oh, maybe they did this and that or whatever, or they drank her blood, or they do. Well, Okay, but here's the thing. If you go watch those 115 videos that came out last year between Nicholas and Gypsy, that is exactly what they're talking about. They're
Yes.
talking about killing her mother and becoming enlightened beings, that they'll no longer be Gypsy and Nicholas, that they will become enlightened and they will move forward into another realm. And so it's exactly what you're looking at. When you look at it that way, it changes the narrative of what you think about this. It just does.
It's, it's so funny because for the last 6 years on my channel, I've worked with a lot of whistleblowers that's come out of the more Epstein, Bohemian Grove, the elites religion, will say. And it's so crazy because the biggest pushback I get from people is like, oh, I don't believe in Lucifer. I don't believe in this stuff. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. They do. And part of their religion in that way is to hurt other people.
Right.
If you're in the light, you can create. If you're in the darkness, you have to take from the light to create. That's why they do. That's why they, as we say on the YouTube streets, that's why they drink the Drano, as Kesha calls it. That's why they do these things. That's why they take the purest and most innocent among us, is because this goes back. And I hate to say this, I mean, it's my research. If you go to Leviticus in the Old Testament, you read it, that's what they were doing back then too. This has been done over and over again. And the reason why, because even this is going to sound really bad, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but my boyfriend, who you guys got to meet because we were at some sound issues, I was playing the video of her with the blanket, and my boyfriend goes, what kind of white trash, gross bullshit is that? And I think when we look at Gypsy, she doesn't look like the type of person that we think of as in this cult, this Hollywood cult.
Right.
But then you look at HBO, the media, all these people that
she was on Billionaires' Boats, and she was meeting Elijah Wood and the cast of Harry Potter, and they were going to different things all over the place and enjoying very many perks and things of this, you know?
Yes.
And I thought that at first too. I was like, oh, come on, guys. But the more that Epstein has come forward, the more that we've started to see a connection in the town of Springfield itself with the Epstein files. And you just begin to start seeing how wicked this is.
This is a bigger picture, and I don't know. It makes me wonder. I think about like the Blanchard family, like how deep do they run? Like what is actually going on here? Who are these people really? That's where my mind, because if it was just some crazy situation where she was just, and one thing I wanted to say too, speaking about the Aurora cult, one thing that this Hollywood Epstein group, that Sabbateans, we've covered the Sabbateans here on my channel. That's what they really are, the Sabbateans. They love to, trying to think of word I can use on the YouTube streets.
Chaos coordinators?
No, procreate with their own siblings.
Oh,
they love that. And one from some of the studies I've done on Gypsy's microdeletion, this could be a side effect of that happening a lot. Because
it has happened. We have, I've
put out quite a bit of the family tree to show this. I even went all the way back to like 1776 when they first started settling the Cajun area down there, you know, the Bayou area. And I went through all of that. And what they have done is they have also used this for, you know, hundreds of years now to skirt court systems, to not have to pay taxes, to not have to pay property taxes, to not have to pay probate, to avoid anything. If one of them is getting investigated for something, they immediately sell all their assets off to someone else in the family, and it never moves out of the family.
Same name. Everybody's the same name. That's another thing.
Our family, I love that. Our family, what do we know? Our family isn't a freaking stick. I'm just sorry that made me laugh so hard. That's all that. It's just
okay. I want you guys to understand. And here's the thing.
You ain't lying.
If you go back to the 1700s, even the 1800s, it was common practice to marry cousins and keep bloodlines pure and blah, 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 and all these different things. But when you start getting into the 1900s and 2000s here, you would expect that all of this is done. Like you would
we know now.
Branch out, but they don't. Anita, Dylan's wife, who supposedly they have this baby, that's freaking his cousin. She's his cousin. This is the way they do it. They don't marry without. They don't go outside. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I think they were so angry with Dee Dee, because she did. She left. She was like, nah, fuck all you guys. I'm done with your bullshit. You're crazy.
I feel, man.
You blame everything on me. So fuck you. I'm out of here. You know?
The more I learn about Dee Dee, the more I like her.
I do too.
The more I wish she seemed like she was a fun girl who was dealt, and I think she did the very best she could, and she did a damn good job under the circumstances that she was dealt.
Everything she could for her. Everything she could until she couldn't anymore. She just couldn't.
Yeah.
And you see in the foyers Gypsy saying that. Like, I don't know how much more my mom can take. Like, she's putting it out there. It's in the videos. It's like, and she's like, I try not to get so upset. I try not to freak out. And she's crying on that one video, you know, and so, you know, she's been doing this for a long time.
And that's the thing. The patterns of behaviors have never changed. I'm mad at you for not letting me be with my 35-year-old drug dealing boyfriend, so I'm going to take a pew-pew and shoot you with a knife to your neck, Mom. Right? I mean, why shouldn't I? You won't let me. I was mad. That's her excuse for this whole thing with Ken and the blanket situation and this headboard situation. And I at first I didn't believe the headboard situation. I was like, nah, Nina's lying. She's lied a million times. But now after the sisters come out, I begin to believe that this is the truth, you know. And Ken's sitting up there on a panel going, oh yeah, but have you seen the headboard video? I want to see the headboard video. Motherfucker, you know you saw the headboard video. You're acting like you're like somehow we're all crazy.
Acted like that was a Tuesday. That was a Tuesday. But I haven't seen the headboard yet. Like, he just passed right by it. Like, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Everybody acts like it's just normal. First of all, yeah, I'm sure people have flipped out. Not everybody, but certain people probably have. Like I said, I would clear something. I would, like, if there's a counter and stuff on it and I was upset, I'd clear everything off of it.
I've thrown shit at my husband's
but
head,
then I learned
I
gotta clean that up. So
ever done that, and I certainly didn't film myself doing it.
But to set up my camera and film myself doing it is a whole other ball of wax for me.
It is. Because okay, I want you guys to really unpack what you have to go through and what your mind is doing, okay? So you're so enraged that you have decided you're going to take this blanket that you made for him while you were in prison and you're going to freaking tear it up because obviously you never meant anything to him. And okay, fine. But no, she was conscious and calm turning on the camera.
Yeah, that's weird. That's so weird. Because I get it. Like, we've all been emotional at times.
Right.
But
she backs up. Like, she does this shuffle backwards, and then she's just like, lies. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And then to add insult to injury, she goes online with her friends and talks about what a weird scenario that would be. I mean, like, what did you do? You, like, set the tripod up and then you filmed yourself. She's like, yeah, isn't that weird? Like, who would do that? Obviously you did.
You would. Well, here's the thing. This is the thing. Yes, people can get emotional relationships, all that kind of stuff. But here's the big kicker. Okay, if I, Fancy, or Matt got emotional with our partners, here's the difference, Gypsy. We haven't murdered anybody. We don't have a history of violence with somebody else. Like, what is missing here? Like, that's why people are concerned, is that you have basically, as somebody said, what is a scissor? Scissors are two knives.
Yeah.
And it's pattern behavior.
Yes.
It's pattern behavior. I don't care if it was a year ago. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me.
It's the
pattern.
That
doesn't matter to me. It's showing me a pattern. You are the same person. And you and I'm telling you right now, if she's not in therapy, if she's truly not working on herself, she really freaking needs to, because she's dangerous right now.
I don't think she will, though. I think she's too. This is my opinion.
It doesn't matter. That's what I keep trying to explain to people. I don't know. Mac still. I think you still have hope in some way or something, that there is something that could help her. There isn't. I'm telling you. They're talking about the dark triad and the dark quad down in you know, down here in the comment section. And I personally believe she has the dark quad. So the dark triad is Machiavellism, psychopathy, and sociopathy. Well, and then if you add in the fourth one, it's sadism. So and when you add all four, when you've got that dark quad going on, man, it is dark, dark, dark all the fucking time. Your brain is not wired okay. You know, and I definitely think that she is in this dark quad.
Me too.
I've seen the sadism from her, the Machiavellism, the narcissism, the sociopathy. It's all there, you know, and she has no self-awareness whatsoever, of her self-awareness of like reading a room or realizing maybe I should take a pause, which is so funny to me because she had enough wherewithal to pause before doing it. But yet nowhere in that thought process was there a logic thought of maybe I shouldn't do this.
Maybe this isn't a good idea to film this.
But does she have control over that if she is a psychopath?
No.
Well, I don't think she cares. I don't think that she feels any type of humiliation, of guilt, of shame, of empathy, of compassion. I don't think she understands why people would be concerned seeing her cut up a blanket. Right. I don't think that she has any. I don't think. I know she talked about in her TMZ article or interview about remorse. I don't think she knows what that even is.
I don't even think she knows what the word means.
Yeah,
I get. Like I get her friends and whatever saying, "Oh yeah, I've been there. I've da 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 da." Making light of it though, I didn't agree with that. Like you got to understand who you're speaking with right now. Like what's scarier to me is the nice Gypsy, because I feel like that is such a put on. Like I'm not kidding. Like
it's a mask.
When she's nice, that freaks me the hell out, because I'm like, you are not nice. I know.
And I think that's probably why I was able to give her the grace I was able to give her back when I was working with her. Like I knew she wasn't okay. And I kept telling Christy all the time, dude, she's not okay. She needs help. You guys are not doing exactly, Susie Q, her friends enable her, and so does her family. And that's the thing. And I'm like, you know, you're enabling this behavior. You're not encouraging her to be better. You're not holding her accountable. You're not doing the things that you need to do as responsible adults, you know, that are going to be out here living the consequences of her coming out. You know, you guys have lied to everyone about everything. And I don't think you really understand how very sick in the head she really, really is. And it's scary.
As a friend, when you truly love somebody, that means if you got to put your foot up their ass, you got to put your foot up their ass. I mean, has there been times where I've had to say something to you, Fancy, about like maybe something you have said or whatever? Yeah. No, it's not like it's just yes, Fancy, yes, Fancy, yes, Fancy. Oh my God, yeah, you know, no, we're our own people, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you, because I care about you and I want to see you, succeed in life. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you, hey, I get that you were upset, but the filming it, I think you probably shouldn't have did that.
Yeah. And I especially more so from her family than her friends.
Right.
So where is Rod? Where Christy's her stepmom?
My question is, if that's what she does over a postcard, what would she do over an actual cheat?
Right.
Because and like the fact he was acting was like he actually cheated. That's why Sheena keeps telling people, no, he didn't cheat. Because that's what everybody's thinking. Because that's the only.
Because there's no other logical response to that.
Right. That would warrant that kind of a reaction. Like, it's crazy, dude.
I just can't. And the thing too, and this is another thing with people with personality disorders, because we know she left Ryan for Ken. She left a marriage for Ken. And we know that she was talking to Ryan the whole time while she's with Ken, but yet she finds an old card that Ken's ex-girlfriend. For what we know, she's not even in the picture. They're not even communicating. She wants to be left alone.
Right.
But for some reason, it's like rules for thee, but not for me. In Gypsy's world, she can have all the affairs she wants. But if you keep one keepsake from a relationship, that's what it was, right? A keepsake, a card from a past relationship, it then warrants that behavior.
And so my husband and I, we grew up together. Okay. We met in junior high and we went all the way through high school together. And then we got married and everything after high school and all that.
Yeah.
And we both have, like, we have our friends group, and our friends group is friends that we've dated. Both of us have dated in the past, because we went to high school all together and everything. We all have, like, remember back in the day, you'd pass notes. Well, I kept tons of those. He kept tons of those from his ex-girlfriend. I kept tons of them from my ex-boyfriend. We're still friends with them, and we still have them, and nobody gives a shit.
No, like, I don't care. Yeah, I've had my boyfriend and I've been together for a very long time, but he was married before, like, well, I'm not going to say he got divorced 2 years before he met me, but we've had exes before this. We're not going to pretend that we're the,
it's just reality.
It's reality. And it's just, and I just thought the fact too, one other angle of this is that the disrespect that she actually has for Ken. The disrespect, because that was his property that he had saved as a keepsake. It wasn't like he was looking at it every day. It was a keepsake. That was his blanket, even though she made it for him. That was his, and the disrespect that this girl has for, and if you can disrespect your partner like that and then put it all over the social media, if there is a baby, how's she gonna treat Aurora when Aurora has a friend in middle school that she's giving more attention to than Gypsy?
Or she says no and tells her mom no. What are you gonna do when that baby can talk and tell you fucking no? What are you gonna lose your shit when she runs off? Like it and I'm on the fence of, I don't think she has the baby full time. I don't.
No.
I really don't. These text messages, like, here's the thing, guys, that all of this could be bullshit. All of it. The videos, the letter, the fight, the text messages, all of it. And I hate to be like that, but how many times have they pulled stunts like this in the past and we find out that none of this is true?
I asked you
too. Of those people in this community right now that are attached to these people that lie about everything. So it's hard. Right.
And I asked you that too, because this all came out on the eve of the Mackenzie Shirilla explosion with the crash on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen it, it's kind of, she was a young girl. Well, she was actually an underage child when she committed her crime, not 23, 24 like Gypsy, which is a huge, which 17 to 24 is a huge difference maturity wise.
Yes.
But we were seeing all this explosion of this case with Mackenzie Shirilla, and we were talking about that off air. Like, is Gypsy jealous of Mackenzie? Is she, is this her acting out to bring the spotlight back to her away from Mackenzie?
We've seen her do that with other people many times. She did it when the Menendez brothers started getting publicity. She did it when Casey Anthony came back and was trying to do TikTok for a bit there and see what she could do to be an advocate for something. Right. We've seen her do this anytime something's going wrong for her or something's exploding. What does she do? She runs to the media to tell them some story. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, she even ran to TMZ to tell them about not getting her account taken away from her on TikTok. Like, this is how much she thinks she's fucking important.
Well, they let her feel that way.
Charlie, and they let her feel that way.
That Charlie chick from TMZ, man. And hopefully she sees what they did after she left and stops bringing her in.
I loved it when the guy that was, I don't know the names of the guys, the black guy that laughed at us sat down and was like, oh, I hate her so much. Like, after she left the studio, I was like, slow clap for you, buddy.
Dude, I know, he was grunting. He was laughing and grunting, and he's all, I hate her.
Yeah, I and that's the thing too, that brings me to, in what world are we living in where a convicted murderer has first class access to the media like this?
and then has the ability to commentate on other freaking murderers.
Exactly. Like, what?
And decide whether or not she's as bad as that murderer. Well, I have a sympathetic story. No, you fucking don't. Your story is bullshit. You don't have a sympathetic story. Fuck you and your sympathetic story, okay? But she doesn't have a sympathetic story. So I think that I'm okay to profit and make money, and I'm not making money off my crime. Just remember that. I'm making money off of being an influencer. Well, why the fuck are you an influencer, Gypsy? Oh, because you killed your mama.
Yeah.
That's why
nobody would know.
She's not famous. She's infamous.
Right.
There's a difference. You're not an influencer, sweetheart. You got that many followers because you are infamous, not because you were. There are influencers out there that work their asses off to create good content, to make it funny, and they have amassed lots of followers because they work their asses off to get there. They didn't get famous off of their parents or off of some crime. They learned how to work social media and they took it on as a full-time job. Gypsy Rose, we all know you couldn't work a full-time job even if you wanted to. You're too damn lazy. So no, you're not an influencer. And anytime a company dares to partner with Gypsy, what happens? That company has to distance themselves because people start giving bad reviews. It's like she's the one that shuts companies down.
Imagine what person thinks I killed my mom. Now let me sell you some fucking lipstick. Like I don't understand it. Girlfriend, you killed someone. We don't know who you are because of something good. You didn't make a song. You could be a totally shit person and be an entertainer, okay?
Yes.
And people will still go see your movies and they'll still buy your fucking music and what the fuck ever, okay? Fine. Yep. But you didn't do that. You're not known for that.
No.
You're not going to the charts with your fucking sick ass song to freaking Ken that you freaking created an auto-tune, okay? Okay?
Yeah. She wasn't an influencer or anything else before the crime. So
well, according to her, she was a local celebrity, Max. She was a local celebrity.
Well, then she needs to go local then.
I mean, she's not giving us
no.
Among us. Yeah.
I mean, she has no product to give us. Like you're right. A lot of actors are assholes. There's a lot of people out there, musicians who are terrible humans, but they have a good product, and that's what people are purchasing is a good song, a good movie.
Tom Cruise, but I like his movies.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like they're giving you a product that you're buying. What is she giving us? Like, I'm sorry.
Drama. And anyone who follows around with her is extreme drama beyond that.
I've watched some of her YouTube videos. They're boring AF. They are so boring.
Yes, they are.
Thank you for everybody who's here. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm so our chat's awesome. We have really cool people in the chat right now.
For you, so I don't know.
That was awesome.
I think that's yours. So
well, if that's mine, thank you so much. Yes. I so appreciate you.
And I'm thanking you for because I was telling.
Yeah, thank
you.
That
was really nice. Thank you very much.
Very nice of you. You know, we do everything here on a volunteer basis.
Right? Exactly.
I don't make $1,000 a month like Becca Scoops does, okay?
No.
I'm not going to the dealership and paying cash for an Escalade. It's not happening.
No, not when you live on Shadow Band Lane, which I always, I realize that you guys are probably on Shadow Band Lane with me because y'all's videos stopped popping up in my feed. And I think, but as a compliment to you guys, I do believe that when you have something, a nugget of the truth, there's something you're saying that is absolutely true, that's when they start to ban you, start to hide you. And so take it as a compliment. I always take it as a compliment that I live on Shadow Band Lane because something I have said at some point.
Right.
LOL. Yeah. I mean, this case will make you yell. It's so infuriating. And I think it's kind of comical too, watching her on TMZ act like, I'm like, bitch, the gig is up. Everybody knows you're sick. Everybody knows.
Dude, and the funny thing is, it's only Charlie Nuff who gives her the time of day. TMZ, she takes her in there to introduce her to Harvey and the other guy, and they're both like, dude, get her the fuck out of here. We don't want her here. Can you cut our mics? We don't want her to hear what we're saying. And the one guy, as he's getting his mic cut, he's like, I can't stand that fucking bitch.
I know. we've all seen it. It's like I don't know how she can even ignore that. If it were me, and maybe this is because I actually have a soul, but if it were me and all that shit, I would go and hide under a rock. Like,
That's
she
what I
feels
said.
no shame,
No.
does she?
No.
No shame.
No.
And so I just it's wild to me. And my fear, and I think this is why, so many people are like, just move on. The courts aren't going to do anything. There are other people's lives. If there is a child, we would be a very bad community to not continue to talk about the concerns, because every child's life matters.
Right.
And
I've had to preface that before in my talks. Like, we can sit up here and we can prophesize all we want about whether there is or isn't a child. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay.
Right.
It's their business, not ours. It's really nothing. Okay. But based on the fact that they keep involving us in their lives, here's the situation. If the people that are there that are supposed to be protecting this child are not doing so, then it falls to the rest of us to try and help in some way and bring awareness to that. And the thing is like, you can't just be like, nope, there's no baby and I'm certain of it and that's that. No, because there is some child involved in some way. There is.
We just don't know whose it is. We don't know whose it is, but there is a child that is around Gypsy. We just don't know whose it is, and that is
concerning. This child is there for 1 second of one day. That child is in danger. In my
and
opinion.
And the thing is, we're not naive. We're not naive. We know that she's not going to go back to jail. Okay, obviously,
right? Unless she reoffends, and I think she will eventually.
Lady said, until Dee Dee's name gets cleared, until they stop money, stomping on her name, vilifying her, the Munchausen by proxy, until all that, no, it won't stop. Sorry.
And I will say,
justice for her looks like, what I mean? Like, I'm not justice for Dee Dee in the sense that I think some other people might be. I don't know. I just know where my heart is and where my head is. And that's what that means. That means for her to at least have her name cleared of being this horrible monster that was making her daughter sick.
And there are fates worse than prison. I don't think that's what people understand. Sometimes being out of prison and having the whole world know the truth might be worse. There's going to come a point, hopefully, where she's not going to get any more money from TV shows. Maybe social media will finally kick her off, and where's she going to work? She's not going to be able to get a job. There are some fates that are worse than prison, but it's up to us as a community to keep talking about this. And I agree.
Feel like that's karma.
It is karma. It's karma.
Everyone involved.
Yes.
Like, because, okay, so when the money runs out, Ken's gonna leave.
Oh, okay? Absolutely.
Ken's already foots out the door. If there is a baby, he's already thinking, I've got to get out of here. This is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
He even mentioned Parker in that. He's like, you can't be like this around Parker and Aurora. And like, my dog was scared. Like, you can't do this. You could not be alone with her unsupervised ever again, and it just, but then you look at Christy, like her karma. So Gypsy's karma is going to be losing the love of her life again, right? His karma is that he's now saddled with this bitch, if there is a child, for 18 years, and he's got to deal with her and the crazy of whatever this poor kid is going to come out with. Is she going to have problems? Is she going to have medical problems, physical problems, mental problems? We don't know. And the more he lets her around the family, the more mental she'll get. So that's that karma. But the ultimate karma for me in all of this that I think is the craziest one, Christy never wanted Gypsy Rose. Okay,
you can tell too. You can absolutely tell too. Yes.
And the absolute karma is that she knows they're going to support that fucking piece of crap who upended their entire lives, who ruined their perfect little family, who burst Christy's little family bubble of we're so perfect and we're beautiful and Christian and we're this and we're that and we're the ultimate family. And now you're saddled with taking care of that little shit for the rest of your stupid life, because she's never going to amount to anything, because she's not going to get a job and no one's going to buy any more shit from her.
I don't even think, I was thinking about this today. I don't even know if she could I mean, I don't take care of herself. Like, I don't know if she could actually like manage living on her own and taking care of herself. Like, I don't know if
she
she's the
can
mental
either.
capacity to
That's
do
part
that.
of her micro
Yes.
deletion. She is not matured. Okay, she's a 8-year-old woman now,
Close to
and
40,
she's
yeah.
still acting like she's 14. She's stuck there. Okay,
Yeah.
she's
Yep.
not progressing. And that's why people are like, oh, I don't understand. She's a grown woman. No, she's physically a grown woman, but her brain is not a grown woman's brain. She's
Mm-mm.
not right up in there.
No.
It's disturbed. And in my opinion, I think there's a demon in there. So I mean,
Yeah,
maybe multiple. I now looking back at the claims that Gypsy's mother Dee Dee made about her being like slow, I believe that now. I believe that there is some mental slowness there that is required. Could you imagine what's going to happen when she goes through menopause?
no.
God. I mean, that's
what she's like on her period. So I can't imagine what menopause is going to be like.
I mean, that's going to be very scary. But okay, so I'm just loving this. I love talking to you girls. I love when I have people on that can just vent and bitch with me, because this is so frustrating to watch this shit show happen in our faces with this girl. Now, you guys said that what else is going on in the Gyp verse besides these videos?
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of question surrounding the baby, the relationships, all of that. And I think we're finally getting to a point where I think most of us have figured out what we think is going on, you know? And based on the factors, like we sit and we talk about these things quite a bit, you know? But then beyond that, you know, we're talking about we've been really hammering home the other people. This last few weeks we've been really focusing on David Blanchard and the supplemental reports of what really went down on June 14th, 2015. And I can say with a shadow of a doubt, there is no pause in me saying this. What we are told went down that day did not go down that day. Okay, you put June 9th, June 10th aside, whenever all that supposedly happened. But there is concrete proof through the supplemental reports of the first responders and the interviews of the people that were there and the deletion of people that were there that do not appear in the FOIA records, despite the fact that they were standing right there on the property, being told by the police, "Oh no, it's already been cleared. Go home." How? It was only 20 minutes between the time the phone call went out and this other person. If you look at the Facebook postings, the timeline that you can't deny because it's actually physically right there. There's a fourth neighbor who shows up. Okay, so there's 5 of them all together. So there's Kim and David. There's there's Aaliyah's mom, Amy Pinegar, and then Aaliyah shows up later. And then there's Tamara Rose, and then her daughter shows up later. And then there's this woman named Lily Strain. There is no mention of Lily Strain in any document anywhere inside the police files.
But it's the first time I've heard that name.
Yep. I did not. I was looking for it because I was trying to see if maybe she was the one that they talked to when the KY3 cameraman gave a totally different timeline of events that happened on the 14th. According to the KY3 cameraman, they were inside the house and had found the body early in the afternoon of the 14th, not the 15th.
So early in the morning, are you meaning like
early in the day?
Dawn?
No, early in the day. Like, so I'm midday.
Okay.
So the call goes out at 3:13. They're all on scene by 3:30. By 4 something, they're already telling Lily that the house has been searched. And I'm like, but where in the 20 minutes did it get searched and this and that and all this happened? Well, if you go to the very first story that they actually tell, the original story was in one report and it's buried. I mean, and I told Mac, I swear I've seen it. I've seen it. I know they were in the house when the police got there. And she's like, I've never seen that. I go, no, I've seen a document. I know it's there. And there is. It's a document that talks about the fact that there were 3 people in the house when the police showed up. That was David Blanchard, Amy Pinegar, and Tamara Rose. They were
in
the house. And that full-on story about the going through the window and all that shit is their bullshit cover-up for them all being in the house.
So let's, for my audience, just because this is so like, the more we learn about this case, the more questions I have. It's like the more questions get answered, the more of Pandora's box we got to dig through.
That's why we always say grab a notebook, because you need one with this case. Like,
this is crazy. It's like, I feel like, what's that meme with the guy who's like smoking a cigarette and he's got just pins and lines.
Yes.
This is what this feels like. This is a mind fuck. So the official story.
You know how many times I go to the whiteboard and just erase everything because I'm like, nothing I thought I knew is right.
Yeah. The world ends in 2012 and we're in purgatory. Like, is there our hell? Like, is this what's really going on? So for my audience, what is the official story of finding Dee Dee's body on the 14th? What have they officially put in the record?
The official story, the cops show up, David Blanchard goes through the window, and either he does or doesn't let other people in the house. They're depending on which cop you ask. Some say they did, some say he didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes in, he searches, he says there's no body. We hear the whole thing. I couldn't turn on the light switches, blah, blah, blah. I
didn't see anything.
Side of the bed. There was a clean side of the bed. Motherfucker, there was not a clean side of a bed.
No, okay? Yeah.
Like all this. And then they say that they made them come out and they locked the door behind them. The front door behind them, and then nobody breached the house again until 12:18 a.m. on June 15th. Now, in the middle of this, David and Kim Blanchard informed the media and law enforcement that she is 14 years old, which then alerts an Amber Alert, which is different than just a missing person alert. And if she's over the age of 16, guess what doesn't go out? An Amber Alert.
Amber Alert.
So they tell them that she's 14 years old. But you know that's a lie, even by their own stupid ass timeline. If they thought she moved in 2008 at 12 years old and we're at 2015, hello, you can fucking math.
The math ain't mathing.
The math is not mathing.
Yep.
Hello? Yep. The math is not mathing.
So what do you think the Blanchard's motivation for that was, for lying about her age to the media? Do they want the Amber Alert? Were they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They were, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment and educational purposes only. With all the information that I have, this was going to be a Gone Girl situation. And something didn't go as planned. And we now have the video information from Kim and David that Becca did, where they're talking about this situation. And David is literally talking about how she must have realized before she even went that Nicholas Godejohn wasn't someone she wanted to be with intellectually and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, man, dude, how much more of a cover-up can you possibly do? What is your thing in this? And my only thing I can think of is they have to be involved. Why else would 3 random people put themselves in a crime scene, touching things, and clear a house with a woman's dead body in there that's supposed to have been in there for 5 to 7 days? And you tell me they don't smell nothing, they don't see nothing. What are they, blind, deaf, and dumb?
Dude, yeah, that always was weird to me. I've never smelt a dead body, but I have a lot of family members. My family members who are doctors, they can't get that smell out of their sight from like working on and she had been how many days? Like 4 days at that point, about thereabouts, where she had been, exactly, 2 blood smells as well. You know, the unaliving of Dee Dee never quite made sense to me either. And I wanted, what I'm going to say, and I don't know, guys, I go back again. I go back and forth, just like the baby thing. Like I go in my head, like I'm not claiming to have the answers. And when I say this about Nicholas, I'm not saying this referring to his autism, because I would be the same way. You're in a dark room, your adrenaline is up, you have this, knife, and he's not an expert. None of us are experts at killing people. Like, if you told me, I would have thought the same thing. I don't know how to do it. So I've kind of been under the impression that she might have already been gone, or mostly gone, by the time that he got there. I don't think he's responsible. I mean, he played a part in his mind, and so therefore that is a crime, but I don't think he's actually responsible for taking her life.
No, I don't either. I haven't for a very long time. Like, ever since I started really when I got away from them and I began to look, because when you're with them, they have a way, and it's Christy really has a way of making you feel like everything she says makes sense. Even when you're questioning it, you're like, I don't know, Christy. But then she'll just keep on until you wear down, and you just finally see it the way she sees it, because you're just like, okay, well, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know, and you finally just give up. Once you get away from them and their enchantment spell, like that's what they're kind of doing. And gaslighting you and making you question everything you ever thought you knew. Once you step back and take that look, it becomes so clear to you that regardless of what the story is, you don't have the truthful story.
Right.
And every one of these people has reason to lie. David and Kim Blanchard, Amy Pinegar, Tamara Rose, they all have, Christy, Rod, the other ones, Dinah, Nellie, all of these people that are with them have reason to lie, that are, associated in the family. I'm not talking about Sheena and the rest of the friends that they've collected in the last 10 years. Okay. The people that are real family members, all have motive to lie.
This is like an Agatha Christie novel. Like, literally, this is like
the most twisted one ever.
I know. This is like, they all have reason to lie. And that speaks of, as you're saying that, because I'm like, yeah, that checks in my gut, that checks. And that's why this case is so infuriating, because in what world is a body discovered and every single witness, every single person associated has spun this web? In most situations, when a body is found, you've at least got half to 60 to 70% of the witnesses giving you the truth, because they have no reason to lie.
My question is, what police, like, they let a civilian go in and clear the house?
That is, it's like some third world nonsense.
What I'm saying? Like, the police officers they knew what the messages were. They saw what it said.
The bitch is dead.
The bitch is dead, right? And
they had every probable cause to go in. And here's the thing. But my experience with Springfield, Missouri, is this is a common problem. Okay. I have dealt with other cases where they should have gone into a house on a welfare check and didn't do so. And blatantly didn't do so, to the point where I'm arguing with them, quoting the law to them. I'm like, under Missouri statute, blah, 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 does it not state this? He's like, yeah. I go, well, did you do that? No. Well, why didn't you do that? Okay, so you have no reasoning for not doing that in any of these other cases either. So is it just that you guys don't give a shit about welfare checks? Like, I mean, if that's the thing, let us know. We'll stop calling in welfare checks.
Protocol is set up for a reason. There's a reason why protocol is set up that way. And it is literally some like third world shit in the middle of Missouri. And if I lived in Missouri, I would be pissed about this, because this is Atlanta's got its problems too, with a video just leaked a couple days ago of someone recording a judge and the chief of police boinking each other in the courthouse. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but so everybody's got their problems. But I don't think in Atlanta, if something like this would happen, the APD would send a civilian in if they had probable cause to think that somebody was dead inside there. They wouldn't do that here in Atlanta.
Well,
I can
Mac,
safely say that.
I gotta run to the bathroom, but Mac can talk to you about calling up an officer and having this exact conversation.
I will say too.
I
have to point out how hysterical our chat is about Dan going through the window. I just wanted to recognize that I've been giggling watching you guys talk about Crisco, and I have to say I'm like 110 pounds, and I think I would have a hard time going through that little ass window. So
exact same thing. I've said it to be. I'm like, so what did he like shave his body and grease himself down and dive through like a dolphin? Like how like for real? Because he says he didn't see any dishes and nothing was out of place. It's like, did you see the condition of that house?
The house was trashed, and you know that was Gypsy. I think when Dee Dee was in good health, I think she was pretty clean and organized.
Well, yeah, her friend Suzette absolutely says she was a clean person. There's no way she was living like that.
Yeah, that was all Gypsy when she lost the ability.
Well, I mean, just look at how Ken comes home and has to help her with laundry. Like, what is it about, dude? What have you been doing all day? Making videos?
What almost 40-year-old woman doesn't know how to fold some panties? Like it's unbelievable her lack of. That's why I said I don't think she could ever live by herself. I don't think she has the ability to actually maintain her life alone. I think that's how dumb she is.
She has to be reminded of hygiene.
Yep.
Okay. She has to be reminded to do just regular everyday things.
Is it true, Fancy? Sorry, seriously. Is it true that he had to remind her to feed Aurora?
That's what the sister is saying. Like that he has to message her every day and remind her to feed the child. Like and okay, and you want to say you're like, what? But when you think about this, in a mentally afflicted person who can't even care for themselves properly and take care of themselves, now responsible for a human that can't even communicate.
Right. Right. I when you think about like the mental capacity, I'm thinking about like when I was 7, 8 years old, but I think even at 7, 8 years old, shit, I was babysitting like babies at 12 years old. I knew how to feed them and how to like change their diapers and put them on time. So I think for her, it's not just a disablement in the fact that she's younger than her years and her brain. I think there's actual like I don't know how to say redaction in the brain. You know, like
stunted growth in the brain. Yes, he is mentally stunted.
Yeah,
and that is the problem. And you can't expect a mentally stunted person to behave in a non-mentally stunted way.
Right.
You know, I don't know who in their right minds in any of this situation, Ryan, Christy, Rod, Mia, Dylan, Gypsy, Ken, Raina, the sisters, the brothers, what realm would any of those people think she is qualified to be married, taking care of herself, taking care of a husband, and taking care of kids? In what realm?
And everything she does is
none of those skills whatsoever.
Right. Nope, it's all about performing. That's all she does. She performs constantly.
That's all she knows how to do.
And she's not selfless enough to be able to put somebody else's needs first, a child or a dog to remember.
Don't you remember, Bryce? She didn't have time to dedicate time to a child right now. And then 2 months later, she's pregnant with Ken's baby. Yeah, okay.
I don't like this drives me crazy because like I thank God for he's my common law boy. We've been together for so long. We're actually I threaten him with that. I'm like, if you leave me, I get half your shit. According to the state of Georgia, I put my time in. But in all seriousness, he pays all of our bills like for everything. And I've said this before because and that allows me to do things like this with you ladies. Right. And so because he's given me that, you best believe I'm folding his boxers. You best believe I'm doing the laundry. And I'm doing the bathroom.
No problem. Right.
I appreciate him for allowing me to be here and do this. And so I'm gonna clean the toilet. I'm gonna do that for him so that his life is easier. And with women like her, like I don't know how Ken, because I'm under the impression that Ken is working a lot now. Like, how is he even mentally sane to work all that time and to come home and have to fucking babysit?
and
her, not his child, her.
or things that
exactly, her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to catch up all the comments, guys, because I love y'all's my audience and your audience. I love both of our audiences together because you guys are really funny and you bring up some really good points.
I like what C. Williams 2639 said. She didn't have time to donate to a child, not dedicate. Dedicate sounds too normal, laughs out loud.
Right.
Like, exactly. And that's exactly it. You're right. She did use the word donate. Like, and I've always been a person that doesn't understand this concept. Like, okay, I had a baby, and that man right there that's walking through the door had a baby too. He's not babysitting his children. They are his children.
Yes.
Okay, he's not babysitting them. He doesn't come home and well, I'm gonna babysit my kid. No, it's your child. You're parenting. It's called parenting.
Right.
It's a full-time thing. Babysitting indicates it's someone else's child and you can give it back at some point. No. And
you're not the 12-year-old down the street like I was getting $2 an hour to watch me.
Girl, I remember those days.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at it now, I'm like, they were leaving me with an infant at 12 years old. But you know what? Infant lived, and so did I.
I was grateful for it too, man.
I believe that too, Brandon.
I kind of believe that too. And
there's a story, and as there always is, there's a story there. So there's a story from the community of what really went down on the 8th, 9th, 10th, kind of situation. And it involves the shed. Yeah. And it involves David and Dan. And there was something going on in the shed, and this one guest allegedly, stumbled into the shed and found out what they were doing. And he was very upset, because he didn't want to be involved in that. And so he supposedly tried to leave that night, and they threatened him and made him get back in the shed and go back in there. And they threatened him with a baseball bat, and that they would beat him with a baseball bat. And the reason that story actually makes sense to me is because guess what happened when Dan was in the hospital? And this is why I got so annoyed, because Becca did a whole video about, well, what do you think Dan, a 35-year-old man, must have been thinking when this 23-year-old bimbo shows up at his hospital while he's in there from whatever? And I'm like, he's thinking that he called her and then he asked her to come there. And the whole situation of why he was in there is because he was allegedly kidnapping a 13-year-old girl right in front of her mother that he'd already had sexual assault with, and had given her an STD at the age of 13 years old. And he was beaten with a baseball bat. That's why he was in the hospital. He didn't fall off some balcony at a bar because he was drunk. And the bar incident, the balcony incident, that happened in another house with another 13-year-old girl and her family. These men have histories. Yeah, and to ignore these histories is so insane to me.
Right.
Because it plays into what I believe Dee Dee was threatening them with. I think she'd had enough. I think she didn't want to do any scamming anymore if she was doing it in the first place. I think that she knew what was going on in the shed. I think she knew about their relations with children. I think she knew about the trafficking, all of those things. And I think she was going to blow open a popsicle stand nobody wanted blown open.
She knew where the bodies were buried. Yeah,
I dumb fuck doing this.
Right.
This gives like a lot of like trafficking. Like this gives of shady underworld businesses that are also often connected to cult activity and occult activity. Yep. And I mean, I want to think about it from this way. As I'm not a mother, I am an aunt and I'm a dog mom, but I know you ladies are mothers, but I'm also a normal human being. And if you have
you though? No, just kidding. You hang out with us. I'm not sure.
Right. You sit around contemplating whether Gypsy has a baby or not. Like, don't you have something better to do? But if one of my nieces or nephews was involved in something like that, as a parent or an aunt, you love them so much that you're going to try to do everything you can to protect them. And I feel like this gives me a whole other perspective of Dee Dee, of what mental anguish she was in. Because I think you're right. I think she knew what her daughter was up to. It's not like Gypsy can hide shit well. She's too dumb to hide shit well.
She's doing it in the damn living room, showing you her holes in broad
I know.
daylight with the window open.
Good
I'm sorry.
I think if Gypsy had been non-related to Dee Dee, I think she would have taken action much sooner. But because it's her daughter, I think that she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I know that there are some parents whose kids have gotten involved in shady groups, and those parents would rather their kids be in prison than be with the company they're keeping. But I feel like I need to write all my friends thank you notes, because none of my friends are into this stuff. They're really boring. Just kidding. Like this is like low barrel.
Right.
Do you think with these like conventions, is there a possibility that these types of, allegedly, we'll say just for speculation purposes, that these type of networks kind of hang out around these conventions to find?
They do. It's legal. It's proven. And in fact, there were articles in the Springfield News Leader and in other publications about VisiCon back in the day that have been scrubbed and are no longer exist. And we have screenshots of them somewhere. But like, if you didn't get the screenshot, you're screwed. But it is true. And right about the time that this stuff was going on and breaking and everything, there was a huge case exactly of this in San Diego, where they busted up a Comic-Con. And it is known, any type of big event, sporting events, conventions, concerts, big concerts where people are coming in from areas, all across. That's what happens in these things. And if you go look at what's going on behind the scenes in VisiCon, where they're standing there and it's very debaucherous back there in those videos, there's no doubt in my mind this is what's going on. These men have been arrested several times. Richard Keene, one of the first boyfriends, was got in 2006. Mike Stanfield got him off on 2 different charges of sexual assault. Now he's on the run because he didn't finish out his sentencing, and I think they were going to throw some more stuff at him. But Mike Stanfield was involved. That's the same year that Gypsy started going to VisiCon, and that guy was gotten off on. Dan Glidewell's cousin, Brian Rogers, that's Ace Bannister that everybody knows about. He just recently in 2024 he got sexual assault charges. There was the little girl Haley Owens that's connected to all of this. There was the girl Hannah Kanish that was connected to all of this. That's the thing. It goes on and on and on. But if you don't know where to look, you're just running in circles.
Right. I mean, seriously, thank you to True Chrissy and Trixie, man, because they really broke this down. Like, really broke it down.
It makes me feel just so bad for Dee Dee. Like, I want to cry for her. Like, she left a terrible situation in Louisiana, and she probably brought Gypsy to these conventions with the most innocent of intentions to give her a social outing where she felt she could watch her. And the next thing you know, Gypsy's entered into this corrupt, and I'm sure Gypsy sought it out. Like, I'm not,
100%.
into this corrupt world, and now her daughter's involved in like this trafficking, in my opinion, trafficking ring. And there's a shed out, and as a mom who's also sick and tired and abused, like God rest Dee
I mean, we
Dee's
talk
soul.
about the community talks about how Dan's mother, and this is confirmed by Gypsy, alleging that Dan's mother would email her mom and try to get her in trouble and say these things. Well, they're saying that Dan's mother would break into the house and would basically not allow Dee Dee to answer the phone or do anything during the period of time that Gypsy's making these fucking videos. It's insane.
But I have a question for you guys. How do you, after seeing that video of her cutting up the blanket, what do you think, seriously, Dee Dee really put up with?
Oh, I think a lot. Yeah, I think she was physically, I think that I know I know that Dee Dee did struggle with her weight. Like, I know that, and I know a lot of people do, but there's many in the work I do off of YouTube and what I've studied. When you look at the massive amount of weight gain, I know she was sick, but spiritually and mentally, a lot of times why people do that, especially women, is a protective layer. And I
Mhm.
think that and it's not conscious, it's more subconscious. I
Mhm.
think she was creating a protective layer
I
around
know
herself.
exactly
Well,
what
I
you're talking
think all of
about.
this
Yep.
started in the beginning. Like, okay, so I've talked about this, the reward behavior that is normal in a situation with a child like this that is chronically ill. Okay, the reward situation of go here, do this, get poked, we'll go do this, right? Or
Mhm.
I'll get you this toy, or I'll get you a snack, or I'll take you for ice cream, or we'll go to Disney after, or whatever the thing is, right? I believe that started with Gypsy at a very early age.
Yeah.
I think that Dee Dee let her get away with many things and made many, many, many excuses for her, all because I believe that she knew what she thought was that this child is this way and she's going to die. That's what the doctors were telling her. We don't know how
Mhm.
long she's going to live. We don't know what this is. We don't know
They
how to
didn't know
treat
enough
this.
about it yet.
We
No.
don't know anything, you
Right.
know. And
And
I
in
think that
fairness, isn't that part of the microdeletion? Can't there potentially be a
yes,
potential for a shorter lifespan?
yes, yes, yes. And but back in the day they didn't know. So when she's
Right.
6, 7 years old, they're telling her, well, she might live to be 16. We don't know.
Yeah.
She might die tomorrow.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know. So I feel like I feel like that just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. And by the time that Dee Dee was like, okay, she's not gonna die as early as I thought, and now I've created this monster. And
Yeah.
now what do I do?
Mhm.
Because I didn't do the things I know I should have done. I didn't discipline her all these years. Now she's 15 years old. She's with these men who
Men.
are
Yes.
doing
Probably
Men.
stuff.
overcompensating,
Men,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
not boys,
Fraudulent around.
men, grown
Right.
ass men with
Yeah.
weird,
Yeah.
freaky, proclivities. And I'm not saying anything about what you do in your bedroom. Whatever you do back there is your thing, okay? Let your filth farm fly as
As
Yeah.
long
long
as no
as it's not
children are
as long
involved.
as it's
Yeah.
not
Right.
children. I don't
Exactly.
give a
Yeah.
shit what you do,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but she's in with these men and she's out of control. And more so than your average teenage girl, So oh my God.
I
I
can't
just
imagine.
I can't imagine what she went through. I know what I went through dealing with my daughter who had, mental health issues of anger and not understanding how to communicate well and, do certain things that she couldn't communicate her frustrations. We went through a lot and it was a hard several years for me, my husband, our children, our family, our
I
friends.
do.
Everybody was affected by this,
Yeah.
and now you've got to look at this situation and Dee Dee was alone. She
Yeah.
didn't have a
Absolutely.
support system.
No, that's what she did I want to say, Dee Dee, wherever you are, you did a phenomenal job. Like I don't know many women who could have done what you did. And I will say too, yeah, when I was, it turns out now that thanks to Fancy and everybody's research, mostly Fancy with the I've actually had more surgeries than Gypsy has in my
Right.
life.
Yeah.
And I had a procedure done when I was in like the second grade. I had a really bad digestion issue. So I had to go to
Mm-hmm.
Scottish Rite Medical. And I remember it was very traumatic. I remember crying, like them forcing me to drink something. And I wanted to be at that point, I wanted to be at school with my friends because that was better than
Right.
what I was going through. I remember my parents
Right.
saying, if you get through this, we'll get you a new Barbie. And that actually helped me like calm
It
down
does.
to finish the
Right.
It's a
procedure.
Gives you
reward
So I
something to
system.
look
don't
forward
blame.
to.
I don't
Yeah.
blame because when you're a child, you don't understand while you're being poked and prodded. For me,
Right.
I was waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and projectile vomiting every
Oh.
Right.
night. So they had to admit me to the hospital because I wasn't to figure out what was going on. They had to do the procedure. As at 43, I understand that. My parents were younger than I am now when that was
Mhm.
happening to me. Plus, they had my sister to deal with. So for them and for me, I totally get why Dee Dee would have been like, if you just get through this, we'll get you a new teddy bear. If you
Mhm.
just
Right.
get through this, right? So I don't
Right.
blame, and I don't blame any parent for doing that. That is a stressful situation. It's
It's very
horrible.
common. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
common. A reward system is very common, even in non-sick children. But in sick children like this, it definitely becomes something that they get. It's a routine.
Yeah.
You go
Think
here,
like that.
we'll get this. You go here, then we do something fun. You did it, because these kids don't want to go.
No.
Nobody wants to go to the hospital and be poked, prodded, hooked up to machines that are making noise all the time, waking them up every 5-10 minutes. You know, no one wants to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that as an adult, and I deal with it way more than I need to. You know,
right?
like,
Right. At least an adult, you can make it practical
all the time, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, and as soon as I feel better, I'm like, okay, send me home. Just send me home. I don't want to be here anymore. Send me home now. Can I have my papers? Can I have my papers? I want to go now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to answer. So I want to answer this question. Mac, you're on the Good Wives Network with Fancy, correct?
I am. I have my own YouTube too. I was doing some just different things on that about covering Dee Dee's law, but now we have Dom's law, so I think I'll just what I actually would like to do is get in touch with Dom's sister, because that's here in Ohio, and you know, I already have things that are written up for Dee Dee's law, so if I can help them with anything, you know what I mean, I can help with that. But anyhow, what was your question? Was you talking?
I just put the Good Wives Network in the chat for my channel, and it's also in the description box. But Mac, if you want to send me anything or put anything in the chat, go ahead and do so, because I'm loving. I don't know if you saw that, Fancy, but there was a comment where somebody said complimenting you. Oh, here we go. This is the first time I've ever listened to Fancy, but I'm going to really start listening to you because you really make a lot of sense. So I wanted you to make sure you see that, Fancy.
You know, thank you. I appreciate that, Brandy. And I get a lot of flack for my overzealousness, for getting unhinged, for being upset. But if you knew the whole backstory of what has been done to me in the quest of truth and justice in this, you would understand so much more why I'm the way I am, and how I feel about this case, and why it is so important to me. You know, an LCAT 1056, a TikTok person said the same thing about Harley Pillow was cut into stripes. Does anyone else know about it? I don't know about whether it was cut into stripes, but what I do know is it wasn't in the bedroom when it happened, when she died, or when she was found. It wasn't there. And Gypsy talks about crying into one of her mother's pillows at some point in time, and that she was crying and just, I couldn't believe it. And that pillow is missing, and she says that was her favorite pillow. And so I wonder if she, thank you, I wonder if she took it, and maybe there were stripes in that pillow too. That would be interesting, you know. But I don't know. It's so much with her. There's just so many things. But yeah, that Harley pillow has bothered me for years, of not knowing where it went.
Yeah,
you know why.
I think what you know, I think the thing that what you've dealt with, Fancy, because let's just be honest, I don't think we would be where we are today. You were the person that brought out the micro deletion, and that literally, it's like a sweater when one little thread starts to come undone and you yank it, and all of a sudden the whole sweater.
Yeah,
that's what happened. And I don't even know if you intended that to happen when you started releasing it. And so that, once the Munchausen by proxy thing kind of went debunked, and it changed the minute that I remember when I first heard the micro deletion, it literally just in an instant. In Sanskrit, there's a word called prativa, and I would say it's a prativa moment, which means a flash of illumination. It's like all of a sudden, in this instant, everything changes. And so all of a sudden I went from having empathy for Gypsy Rose to thinking, you fucking murderer. And once that is exposed, that big lie comes out to the surface, then that brings a bunch of other questions. Why did the court system allow this to happen? Why
did media participate in the lies? Right. Why is everybody lied? Why is everybody lied?
Why did
every single person is lied
in there? You know what I'm saying? That they all saw the show. They all, how many people saw the show?
Yeah,
and that Ron Nick Fury. Seriously, okay. They saw the Mommy Dead and Dearest.
Well, again, I have to keep coming back to this gaslighting situation from the family and everybody involved, because just like this whole thing about the blanket video and the stabbing of the headboard and all of this stuff, what was their first thing to do? To mock everybody, right? That was the first thing that they did. They have a pattern of behavior when things happen. The first thing they do is they try to tell you it didn't happen. That's their first thing. Okay. Oh no, that didn't happen. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Then they mock you for believing in it at all, no matter what it is that you believe. And then they begin to try to gaslight you into thinking, well, I must be wrong. Like saying that the whole scenario of, yeah, like who does that? I mean, like who would set up, like, did you set up a tripod and then you like walked over there and then you like, like who would do that? Yet here's the video. 5 seconds.
You did it.
You did.
You
That's
cannot.
exactly what you did. But that was from September. I don't give a shit if it was from 5,000 years ago.
No. Dropped as soon as that video, she dropped off that panel quicker than shit, man. She's like,
it's not possible, Abel. That's the thing. It's not possible. She has, in my opinion, and I believe this really has to do with her mega deletion. Okay. It's still considered a micro deletion, but I want to explain this because this was something I hadn't learned till this last year when I really started looking at, okay, what does this really cause? What can all of the things be? And when you start looking at it, she has every single thing. Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
And I couldn't understand it. I'm like, but they keep telling you that there's such a wide range, right? From no symptoms whatsoever to you could have a baby that's born and die within an hour because it can't survive because its head's too small.
Okay? Right.
It's so much. But if you really begin to dial it down and look at it, she is an anomaly with inside of an anomaly. So the average person with a micro deletion on the 1Q2 1.1 is 1.37 megabase. So it's one little section in this one part, okay? And that's the normal deletion for anyone with a chromosome disorder of that region. Even if it's a duplication, a micro deletion, that's about the area that it takes out, okay? This one little bit. But hers is not 1.34 or 37. Hers is 2.74. So instead of covering this one section of chromosome 1, it covers 2 sections of chromosome 1. And that second section is the section that's not normally covered by the 1Q2 1.1. And it's the one that has the impulse control, the schizophrenia, all of that is involved in there. It's the same area of the chromosome 1 that affects TAR syndrome. Okay. Yeah. And so if you think about that and you understand, that's why I believe she has the mother load of all the problems, because she doesn't have just this. She's got this. It's deleting almost the entire long arm of a chromosome 1.
Yeah. And you look at her, you can tell right away that, and that is the thing, and that it's not just like with some personality disorders. Yes, medication therapy can help a lot, but this is like genetically in her. This isn't something that's going to go away. Even, think about other chromosome disorders would be like Down syndrome. Now, people with Down syndrome are beautiful, sweet, like they're kind of the opposite of they're kind, very gentle souled people, but and some Down syndrome people can learn to live by themselves, but they need help. They need a lot of help with a lot of aspects of their life. And we understand that with Down syndrome. Well, the same thing can be said for Gypsy Rose. She's like, as Down syndrome's like the light, like the very joyful, angelic version of a chromosome.
Right.
Hers would be the dark one. And I'm not saying everyone with that, because as you're saying, it is a scale. There are people that obviously have it, but don't have this, that don't have the same problems. But Gypsy, you can tell that. I mean, I'm surprised she's not a case study. I'm surprised they're not.
She should be. That's the thing, but she denies it, so no one can study her.
I'll never forget when you found it, and she sent me the picture of the poster child for it, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so it's Gypsy. And she's like, no, that's not. But it looked exactly like her.
Okay, and it's taken. Okay, so Colleen was and is. I'm sorry, she still is our medical person. Okay, Colleen is the one who found it. after I asked her to go back and look for it again, because it's not like we ever hid that we knew something was there, but Christy told us it wasn't real, and we
Right.
never had the actual lab tests because somebody was hiding them from us. Okay. And so once Colleen got that, I'm telling you, within minutes, Colleen, and you're right. You asked me earlier, did I think it was going to blow up like this? I had no clue.
Right.
Okay. I just knew it meant something. And I knew that I had looked at this 50 ways from Sunday, and I knew it wasn't MBP. I didn't care what it was, but I could tell you this was not a case of Munchausen by proxy. I don't care what the experts said.
It blew that right out of the.
And I reached out to the experts thinking, hey, maybe you just don't know. And they willfully will not look. That's the thing. And they have told me that I'm wrong. Oh, she can have a chromosome disorder and still be medically abused. Of course she could be, but she wasn't.
She wasn't.
That's the problem. She wasn't.
And guys,
and Colleen, it's taken her a long time because she was a new nurse when we started. Okay. She was an RN. She'd just come off of like her intern training, you know, and all of that. And she was just doing rounds, and she had decided she really didn't want to be doing rounds. She wanted to get more into the education of it. So she went back to school, and she went back to school over these 10 years that we've been doing this. She went back to school and got a master's degree in nursing education. She did that shit. Okay. She went and she did it, and she got the knowledge. And when I asked her to go back and look one last time, she's like, but we already looked. I'm like, just look, just please humor me and look at it one more time. And when she did, she goes, son of a bitch. Like, and then she came with all the information of like, look, it can cause this and this and this and this and this. And she's like, and that explains that. This is why when we did the podcast, she's sitting there talking about, I don't understand how her ears are this infected over and over again. Is she doing like what Lacey Spears did to Garnet and holding him down and like stabbing her ear? Like, what in the world is happening here? So she's reading these medical records, but she's missing the main key to the medical records. So she's like so frustrated with this because they even, when Gypsy was released, we were coming out with our book, and they started, my friends, our ex-friends, Colleen and I's ex-friends, started harassing her and stalking her, and they had all turned on me and gone to the Blanchards. All of them were friends with the Blanchards at this point. It was just me, Colleen, and Christina, who had passed away. And once Christina passed away, they took full advantage of Christina passing away. They knew that Colleen and I were hurt. They tried to destroy our nonprofit. They tried to destroy our network with clients, sponsors, the whole thing. They lied to everybody, and it was all because they didn't want all this out there. So when Colleen finds it, they start messaging her. First, they try to tell her that she's going to be sued from somebody in Virginia. And then they try to tell her that, you know, she can lose her license. Then they try to actually take her license. They were contacting the licensing board and trying to take Colleen's license for just having an opinion of what she read in this. And they made her feel like she was wrong. She didn't even want to put her name on the book, not because of me or Mac or anyone else, but because they made her feel like, one, they could do something to her and hurt her, and two, that she was wrong and she had it all wrong, and it made her feel bad.
They bullied bad. They really did.
They bullied her so bad.
Like gang stalking.
And it took her months of me sending her things over and over and over and over again to show her the new stuff that we had figured out from all of this. And she just looks at me one day and she's like, so they just fucking framed her. Completely framed her. And I said, yeah, that's what they did.
And why? My question is why? Why is the government and the media? I can understand the family and the crime syndicates doing this, trying to do it, but why is the media and the government so gung-ho on being in on the lie? And Matt, you said, is this the girl you were speaking about where you saw the picture?
Yep. Yes.
That's the poster child, the literal poster child. That's not Gypsy, guys.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's not Gypsy. So now I ask you, how micro deleted is Gypsy?
Yeah, this is the poster child for the micro deletion.
Right.
And I just want to be clear, I don't think this girl has done anything criminal?
No.
Make that very clear as we're putting her picture up.
Right.
Obviously, she agreed to be the poster child, but you know, she is not. I think Gypsy. I mean, now is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Back in the day, was this the microdeletion that they refer to as pinheads back in the day?
Well, pinhead is one of the symptoms of the microdeletion because it causes the microcephaly. See, that's the thing with the chromosome deletion. You don't understand that a chromosome deletion, there's no cure for a chromosome deletion. There's nothing. There's no specific treatment plan. There's nothing. What you do is you treat the symptoms of the deletion. And because hers is so substantial, I think she has more problems. And that's why we're seeing it with her. And it's so obvious with her. Whereas with Mia, you can still see the facial features are there. Dylan too, but you don't see all the other problems. But Mia had some of the same medical issues that Gypsy had. She had the gastric problems. She had the problems with her nose. She's got the deviated septum and all of those things. She has milder forms of things. And I know this because Christy told me about it. About going to the doctor and them asking her, hey, does Mia have this, that, or the other, you know, like going on with it. So I get so upset with the whole thing of how they made Colleen doubt herself. Like she went to school for all of this and she knows her freaking shit. And she was like, okay, so what I got wrong is believing the fact that you stated in the beginning that there were no long lasting effects. We all know there's lasting effects now. Like it made her question her whole like career.
Well, I
literally did almost get her license taken away.
I hope that if she's listening, Colleen, I am so sorry that happened to you. I think you were gang stalked, and that the fact that one thing my therapist said to me once years ago when I went through trauma therapy. The fact that you started to question yourself actually shows that you are healthy minded.
Yeah.
You're having a normal reaction to gang stalking. If you were a psychopath yourself, it wouldn't. Look at Gypsy, doesn't affect her, right? And I hope to God that you and Fancy and Mac take all the credit in the world because your hard work broke this open. You were the one little domino that needed to be pushed over for all of this to be exposed. And so
we really did.
So far as to tell her that I was projecting it onto her and that I was forcing her to have these thought process. They say the same thing about Mac. Like these people, like they can't be intelligent of their own. Like I hang out with stooges, I guess, you know, like
you're running your own cult, Fancy.
They actually do. I swear,
you know, like Mo's gonna come out any minute, right? Like, but that's the thing is they were like telling her, you can't do this, you can't listen to Fancy. She's like, but I know what I'm reading medically, and they're like,
she wasn't listening to. She was looking at the medical report,
right?
She wasn't listening to Fancy.
She was insane. And it almost ruined our friendship. It almost ruined her life. Like these people had no care whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because to them, it's just, well, no.
And they're relentless. They're relentless. Coming. That's the thing. They don't stop.
Say, with this,
and they were her friends that did this to her. People that we had been friends with for years.
It's that group hive mentality that people get. And Kimberly, I want to touch on this because I think a lot of people were in your shoes. I think a lot of people initially felt bad for Gypsy because they thought about their own childhood and it's almost like you're trying to go back and rescue yourself. So I wouldn't feel bad about that. Like, I think that a lot of people, I think they intentionally played on people's empathy. And I mean, I think they played on people that, and I just think they are master manipulators, this group. And I think you're right. I think there is a lot of glamour and I know that sounds crazy, but this is a crazy case. Welcome to the clown show, right? Like, this is a crazy case. But I'm telling you guys, like, in the Deep South, because I'm from the Deep South, there's a lot of magic that goes on. Like, we do stuff. I mean, we have little stuff we do here in Georgia. Like, you know, it's just part of our culture down here. Like, you paint your ceiling paint blue to keep away demons. When you're pregnant, you there's just like, it's a combination of stuff. New Orleans is seeped in this. Like, don't kid yourself. And of course, if there is a cult involved on top of that, a cult that practices the occult, they are doing enchantment and glamour spells.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I speculate my opinion.
And here's the other thing, even without that, the story itself, it makes you want to believe them.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody can relate in some way to the overbearing mom or the abusive parent or
the bad boyfriend,
alienation from the crazy boyfriend, or the alienation from the family, or I was preyed on by these men that grew.
Exactly. How many women have that story? We all, yes.
So you want to believe them, but the more you learn, the more you go, wait,
that's not what this is.
That's not what this is. That's not what this looks like. That's not, no.
And you know what? I knew she was shady in the Dr. Phil interview when he asked, "How do you feel about Nicholas now?" And she said she hated him. And I thought,
for you, girl, did he free you?
I mean, I was just like, right? He supposedly saved you from hell. And
if you want to believe her story, shouldn't he be the all-conquering hero?
Right.
Yep. Right. And then when I saw the interrogation, it was over. I was like, girl, I know exactly the game you're playing.
Yeah. And I think, Kimberly, I think that's what's happening right now. I think God's strength came through Fancy Maselli and Mac and Colleen.
I really do believe this is a force of good and evil. I really truly do. It's why I think so many people are afflicted by it, and obsessed with it, because I think it irritates us to our soul.
Yeah, it's very
relatable. It's relatable. I mean, and it's insulting to a lot of us who have experienced true abuse. It's insulting to real kids. Like, I think Kimberly is in here talking about,
they're real abuse victims.
It's insulting. And she plays on these people and they think that, oh my God, we found our person in Gypsy. No, it's a lie. It's all been a lie, man. And once you find that out, and let me just say, all you got to do is pay attention. All you got to do is pay attention. If you don't want to see it, then it's because you're trying not to.
It's because you're willfully being ignorant. That
like
you're just choosing it. You're choosing it at this point. Like, even, okay, so something's come out recently that made me understand why a certain person is close to her. One of the, one of her online friends, Sheena has come out explaining that she had these intrusive thoughts of homicidal thoughts that she struggled with her whole life. And when she came out with that, I began to understand Sheena and why she sees it differently than I do, because it was kind of the same thing for me with my mother being an abusive parent and being sick. And I thought the same things. Like, if I just didn't call 911 today while she's in a diabetic reaction, wouldn't my life and her life improve? But the problem, but the thing is I never did that. I always was dialing the number, even as I'm thinking thought. And so when Sheena revealed this and talked about her struggle with this, it made me think, oh my God. So she identifies with it and she sees herself in Gypsy in some way.
Possibly.
And maybe that's it for her. Because for me, it was I had problems with my mom, for someone else. And everybody relates to this and they project themselves and their own stories onto this.
She has covered every type of abuse that there is.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
she literally steals story from other people anyway, doesn't she?
Right.
So she is going to touch somebody. I think most of us believed her in the beginning.
Yeah.
Most of us did. But like I said, when she said that about him, because I could put myself in that position and think, man, if a guy really did get me out of a bad situation, I am not going to sit here and say that I hate him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, yeah.
It's not about focusing on Nick either. There's Kimberly, there's no hope for Nick. I'm sorry. He's lost all of his appeals. He doesn't want help. He doesn't do anything to help himself. There's nothing to focus on with Nicholas. We don't know his story. He won't talk about who he was before or anything. His father isn't helpful.
We've tried a lot with Nick.
We tried, and
you and I, like, there's so many people who have really tried with him, and he is obviously very content with where he's at right now.
I mean, is it for his level of autism too? I know I have a cousin who's got about that level of autism, and they do get very comfortable in a schedule and like in their surroundings. So it could be that he has
I honestly think it's a better place for him than his.
And Kimberly, honestly, you could totally write to him too. That might, seriously, that might be a nice thing for him.
So Bodisha, your question is, does Christy honestly think Gypsy didn't participate in murdering by hiding in the bathroom? I don't know. I don't know what Christy thinks anymore. I used to think she was, ignorant to a lot of things, and now I've realized that she is very much a pot stirrer. She's in it. She's into everything. She's always on top of it all. And I think she knows the truth. And I think that she helped cover this up just as much as anyone else. In fact, more so than anyone, because she's responsible for pushing that Munchausen narrative to the cows came home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Christy, when I say Christy, I think she is a very jealous, petty woman.
She is.
And I think that the fact that Rod dared to have like Gypsy getting upset about a past relationship, I think the fact that Rod had a relationship before her, I think she, in her pettiness, did because all the correspondence we've seen, Dee Dee was always very kind to Christy and very, and I think, look what happened with the other girl, the other daughter, like that got pushed away. I think
convinced him it was a birthday, the best birthday present he could give her.
That's what she said. Yeah.
And Christy, the funny thing is that I used to look at Christy and physically see a pretty woman, and through the last 10 years I've watched her inside hatred and ugliness permeate her face.
Isn't that wild how that happens? Your energy changes everything.
She's
everything
so to me. I just like looking at her. I just look at her and go, "Oh, you're just nasty looking. Like you just have this about you." And I really think it's because it's festered and festered, and she's getting more and more attention for it. So it feeds it more and more, the hatred, and it feeds it and feeds it and feeds it. And the inwardness is coming outward.
And I don't think she gives a shit. I think she hates any woman that Rod was with. I don't even think it's not about Dee Dee. It's the fact that Dee Dee dared to be married to Rod, right? And I think that women that get so incensed by this jealousy, I don't think she gives a shit if Gypsy.
I do have to say, I think when it comes to Dee Dee, I do think that Christy is right in her jealousy of Dee Dee. For one, Dee Dee's a nice, sweet, kind person that people liked. I've never heard anybody say that about Christy that hangs out with her. She's a bad bitch. She's a boss bitch. They want to say all these things, but nobody describes her as kind and caring and sweet.
She's a real sweetheart, that one.
Okay. But I think that the jealousy, I do believe that Rod continued on having relations with
Same
after.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'll say multiple women. I think I think that the hypersexuality of the micro deletion comes out.
Oh, girl, I'm telling you right now.
But I think
for no reason.
I think where Gypsy talks about him being, she says in a video to Nicholas, and it's her own words that sink her all the time. And she talks about I don't want to end up in a relationship where it's like what my mom had with my dad. He was really abusive, and he would come and he would go, and then he would leave and he'd go back to his wife, and then he'd come back to my mom. And I really
said that he hit her.
And that is why Christy is jealous of Dee Dee, because she couldn't shake her.
Right. And Dee Dee, talk about, I saw someone saying that Christy was striking, and Christy wasn't younger, but Dee Dee, younger pictures of Dee Dee, oh my goodness. She talked about an people, you would turn your head when she went.
Somebody's only striking if their inside is striking.
Yes, and she was. I just the more I, like I said, the more I get to know Dee Dee from you guys and research, the more I want to hang out with her. She just sounded like she was a good time. That she was fun and kind and laid back in a lot of ways. And like I just my heart, I hope her next life, wherever she is 10 times better. She deserves the world after going through everything she's went through.
I think we can talk about the fact I do believe that Dee Dee had her own mental health struggles from knowing what I know about that side of the family and you know her mother and all of the things. I do believe that Dee Dee did struggle a little bit with the cognitive being a little less, maybe not as mature as other women her age. And that could be from the car accident, but some of that could come from the bloodlines of Emma. And you know, Emma was hospitalized, institutionalized by her mother.
She was also baby,
probably postpartum depression, but they didn't know. But they were willing to allow Emma to have a full lobotomy. Like this is the craziness of this family.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so I think that
we found that out. We read that. I remember now.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a great smile form.
This is so do you think the Peachtree family, do you think that they're in on the scam as well, or do you think they're afraid? What do you think's going on with the Peachtree family?
I think they're in on the scam.
Everybody turned their back on Dee Dee, didn't they?
Yes.
Except for us. Except for us.
The reason I can say that with a shadow of a doubt because of what they said immediately. Dee Dee isn't even found yet. Okay, I want you guys to understand this.
Hey, KB.
Dee Dee has not even been allegedly found dead yet. And Laura May, Bobby, Claudia, this is her family. All are talking about how, oh, she's shady, she lies, she she blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you've got text messages from them where they're talking to her days before and they're like, oh, we love you so much. We miss you. We want to come visit you again. But here they are telling the police immediately her body isn't even found yet. And they're talking about how she's got Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah,
and
Bobby of all people
was wrong with Gypsy the whole time. Now they're coming out now. Oh, well, we do think something was wrong with Gypsy and it wasn't Munchausen by proxy. No shit, Claudia. Really? Really, Claudia? Really? Now you want to come out with it?
Yeah.
I just don't. That makes me. I mean, every family's got their issues, but that makes me thankful for my family because my family would never do that.
No,
never do that. Like, it's
even
just
the family that I'm estranged from wouldn't do that.
No, it's
family just starts airing their dirty laundry when they get the call from the police that their sibling is missing.
Right.
Their sibling and their niece are missing. Both are extremely physically disabled, and you all just start talking trash on her. That doesn't make any sense unless you're setting it up for a story. And that's what you were doing.
And that opens up the bigger conspiracy. Were the Blanchards involved? And they told the Peachtrees, like, are Rod and Christy more involved in this than we think they are? I have these questions. I don't know. I have no idea. But there are some questions that I have. If there wasn't a pre-planned story around this, then why was everybody so gung-ho on? If my niece, I have two nieces. If one of them was as sick as Gypsy and I knew as their aunt, then all of a sudden this shenanigans happened. I wouldn't just be like, oh, it's Munchausen. I'd be like, my niece has a micro deletion. This is a very, I would never. So what is going on in the backs and behind the scenes before the fateful night where Dee Dee lost her life?
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
When it doesn't going on, there was an oil. Oh, go ahead, Mac. I can hear you.
I'm sorry. They leave it open for all kinds of questions. You know, there's so many
holes.
One
of them being, okay. So you asked me, do I think they were involved? Do I think other people were involved? Well, according to the community, they saw Bobby Peachtree and Rod Blanchard there before the murder that weekend. They also allege that one of the aunts would come through with her trucking company, and Gypsy would be in the hotel running up and down the hallway, causing all kinds of crazy havoc. And they'd be like, "No, it's fine. She's fine. Just leave her alone. She's fine." And they deny that. Like, they deny that they went and saw her. They deny.
I believe it. Look at the Cape Cod video. I believe
Mhm.
that 100%.
Yep.
The Cape Cod video, her mouth, she was nothing but mouth in that video.
And so when you're talking about, okay, the oil industry took a huge hit, 33% pay cut months before, just a month or two before Dee Dee died. 33% pay cut Rod took. And that affected the entire family, all of them. And if she was willing, if she was going to blow apart any extracurricular activities anything of them might be doing, you know,
She needed to go.
she had to go.
Right.
She had to go.
She
was dangerous to them.
Yeah, she was the only one that had integrity, right? Let's just be honest.
Yep.
She was, despite whatever issues she might have had, she had a moral compass. And this is what makes me so mad. And this is why I keep going back to this case, is because there is a way bigger story here.
Exactly.
There's a way bigger story here, because the math ain't mathin', nothing is clocking. The minute that micro deletion was okay, let's go back to the original story, the Munchausen by proxy. It became a great documentary because of how Gypsy looked, right? It became that great case.
Who wants to
say she looked that way because she was fucking sick?
Right.
Yeah. All of a sudden, everything falls apart. And all these questions arise. How come there's inconsistencies in these official police reports, as you brought up? How come nobody's story is matching? How come some stories have changed multiple fucking times? How come we were told that she didn't see her dad forever, but yet we actually do have evidence that they were in touch? How come there's just the
list goes on and on
and on and on.
And if it was just one thing or the other, it'd be fine. But when you have 95 things just glaring in your face, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? No, I don't think that makes sense either. That doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. No, it doesn't make sense. When you have all of that going on, you're just like, you don't even know which direction to go.
It's an insult that they think we're dumb enough. Like, it is insulting at this point. Like, I always often refer to it like when you play a hide and go seek with a 4-year-old and they hide behind the curtain and you have to pretend like, oh my God, where's Charlie? You know, but you can see them standing right there. We see you. We see you.
I can see you. Like,
yes, yeah, like, I'm not gonna, don't pretend like, look, I'm hiding. You can't see me. You're not a 4-year-old playing hide and go seek. We can see you. Why is the media so invested in that? Okay, so we talk about all these underground possibilities, the family being involved. Okay, that could be the underworld, but then it's a bigger underworld, in my opinion. We're talking Epstein level, in my opinion, because the government's involved, the court system is involved. We've also got the media, Hollywood, HBO. We're not talking some dinky little rickety new production company. We're talking HBO before, and that's not even kosher to do that. Like, you don't do a documentary before the case. Like, that doesn't, because it could tamper the jury.
Which is what happened with
what they did. And now it's common practice. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole thing is, by them covering every abuse that there is, they knew that somebody, you know, it's very hard, especially as a survivor of any kind of abuse. It's very hard to question somebody who is saying they have also had that happen to them. And people, they know that. Stanfield knew exactly what he was doing with all this. Best believe he did. He knew, because look at her. She walks in with her little shoulders all up and her little orange little outfit, all pathetic, and talking like this when she's in court to the judge. You know, for real. This is like,
and people still buy that mask. People still look at her like she's some innocent, delicate flower. She killed her mother.
No,
she's not an innocent, delicate flower. And I will see, I think, Kimberly, I think I money does have something to do with this, but I think it's deeper than this. I think that there is like Sabbatean religious shit going on.
Yeah, Kimberly.
I think this is like,
ooh, girl.
Well,
Yeah.
and if you just listen to the words that they talk about in those videos, you can hear it. You don't even have to prophesize. Okay. You don't even have to be like, oh, well, I think. No, it's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're sitting there talking about killing her like it's a Tuesday.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and that was when, okay, I got to tell you, like, even when I was on the side of the Blanchard family, I was on the side of the family. I was not pro on the side of Gypsy. I called her out a lot to her to Christy all the time. Like, that was one of the things that she got so mad about, was me calling her up and saying, she just threatened my life. One day you're going to all have to accept the fact that she is in fact a fucking murderer. Okay. Yeah. I know she's your daughter. I know you love her. I know you think she was abused. I don't care. But at the end of the day, Christy, she killed a person.
That's what Ken's sister's screaming right now, dude.
Yes, can we talk about Ken's sister for a second?
Yes, we'll talk about her. Yes. But if at that point, okay, right there, did it no longer is just a, oh, well, poor Gypsy. No, she took it upon herself to kill someone, and you are not encouraging her to deal with that. You're encouraging her to have a delusion about being abused.
Yeah.
Like,
what
is wrong?
She was never abused.
You're an adult in this situation. You're the adult in this situation. You're the rational person in this situation. What the F? Now, let's talk about Ken's sister, because do you know this isn't the first time Autumn's been out here?
Yeah.
No, well, see, I feel sorry for her. I and I love to hear it, because I just now picked up on it of what's, and I don't know what I would do in that situation if there was a niece, but I believe Autumn too. I think I heard the one clip, I think it was on like Morbid's panel or something, which that's a whole shit show in itself. He's kind of flipped, but whatever. I was listening to
I don't even want to get into
he brought up how come Ken said, he said, you betrayed me. He didn't say you lied. He said you betrayed me. And that was like, she's telling the truth. Because if she was just making this up, he'd be like, why are you lying? But instead he said, by releasing information. So tell my audience about Autumn and what's going on with her.
So Autumn is Ken's sister, and I believe she's Raina's daughter. So there's a big family. It's a large family. Okay. He has something like 5 sisters and 3 or 4 brothers, and there's half siblings on both sides. So mom and dad and all of that. So, but this isn't the first time Autumn has come out before. Back in the days of the Facebook days, Autumn was one of the first ones to come out and say, well, she's not going to be accepted in my family. I don't give a shit what my brother says. She's not going to be accepted. And of course, she got a bunch of shit from her mom and a bunch of shit from Ken. And she came back and retracted that and was like, well, if my brother's happy, then I'm happy for him. And obviously, she's going to have this baby. So I'm going to accept her, and I'm going to do what I can. And I truly do believe that that's what Autumn thought, and but Autumn, like, originally she was out here saying the same shit. She didn't agree with any of this. She didn't want this shit in her freaking family. And who would? I can't think of a family out there that's just like, yeah, bring your murderer girlfriend in here and let's have Sunday dinner.
If your sibling is sending letters to prison to find a date, if that's their dating pool, you might need to have an intervention. Send them to therapy. Because
nobody writes a person in prison to befriend them and become love interests with them if they're okay. All right. Like, that doesn't happen.
And that's my thing with what's with Ryan too. Like this dude, I felt bad for him at first. Now at this point,
I've had that guy's number.
He is pathetic.
He is. I look at it now and he's pathetic to me.
He's pathetic.
He tells just gross your mama jokes, and he's, he's just pathetic. That's all I can say. He's pathetic. But the sister, I think Autumn, I do believe.
Can we get rid of Guess Who, please? Thank you.
Oh, okay. I do believe Autumn, in the sense of, that she saw a video, because I saw the emotion on her face when she was talking about it. Number 1. 2, Ryan made a comment also about it. And then 3 would be Nina that saw it.
Yeah.
I don't think she would be this upset and
And look,
concerned.
we don't
Really
take anything
don't.
Nina says ever as truthful. I was very much against this. I was very much, I was like,
Because
Nina's
there
making more
really
shit
wasn't
up
proof.
again. Because she did this, she pulled this last year, and she
Right.
used messages between me and Christy from 2019, trying to pretend that they were current messages.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a
That part.
mess.
That part.
That's
So
why I
yeah.
wasn't jumping on the bandwagon of it and thinking, okay, yeah, this really happened. But I do think, you know, I think the sister, I think she might have had good intention to begin with, but I don't know if that good intention is continuing, because now she's realizing, oh, I can make money from this too. Like,
No.
and
Did you see the video I sent you earlier?
I
She
did. I
took
don't.
the gloves off, man.
Yeah, she did. She really
She
went
took the
for it.
gloves off. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. You want to start showing this, and you want to start." She's like, "All right." Like she's not playing. She's like, "Okay, so yeah, I did hold you know what up to his throat because he was trying to entertain her younger sister,
Right.
right? And no, you're not going to do that to my younger sister, okay?"
Right.
This was also 10 years ago. So I
Right.
understand how she felt about that,
Right.
and knowing what I
Yeah.
think I know about how her life and what went on. I
Yeah.
could see why she felt that way and felt strongly and did what she did. But either way, like she said, I didn't cut him. I didn't slash him. I didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Right.
What what hurt me the most in that whole for her, what really bothered me, and who knows, like Gypsy, but I was listening to some before we went on, I was listening to all these recordings of Gypsy talking about the situation and how she called Raina, and for Gypsy to try to put herself in between a mother and a daughter and to
Yep.
try to dictate like she's
Oh yeah.
closer to the mother than her own daughter is. That fucking pissed me off.
Obviously,
Mhm.
Raina listens because she ain't been on any panels.
And to tell Raina to rain Autumn, Tara in, like I would never insert myself into my boyfriend's family like that. Like that,
You know
that's
what?
their son, that's his sister's brother, and my boyfriend would never do that. Would never call my mom and try to like control my mom with me. It was really my heart broke for Autumn in that moment hearing Gypsy
I
say
know.
that.
I know.
Um,
Mhm.
And
it really,
seriously, she screwed either way. Like it's
Yep.
people are gonna say what they're gonna say. It's you know what? She's at a point right now where I feel like what does she have to lose?
Right.
right.
Might as well say
Right.
what you got to say because people are
Well, and,
already
and obviously her family's not listening, so
exactly
you know,
you know what I mean. And I'm
and
not
that's the
saying
thing.
like, oh, let's have her on our panel. No,
Well, I
No.
was about to say, girl, like she can come on if she wants. I'm not primarily a Gypsy. I do a bunch of stories, but my heart went out to her in that moment. And,
Mhm.
and I just, the audacity of Gypsy Rose to think that she could like, that the audacity of her to think that Raina loves Gypsy more than her own daughter. Like that to me
But that's
was
how
that
just,
Gypsy is.
that
yeah,
and
But that's how
guys,
Gypsy is.
yeah. It's sick. It's sick. And I don't know about, I mean, do you know anything about Raina? Like what's the story there?
I
oh
don't like
girl,
Raina. I don't like Raina. I don't have good things to
chugga
say
chugga
about Raina.
lugga
I don't really
lugga.
like to talk about Raina.
Okay.
Um,
Because I know if that were me, if I had gotten impregnated by a murderer, my mama would probably go to the courts and take custody of my child. Like
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. There's no way that I would be allowing any of this to go on as a
yeah,
mom. There's no way. And as a grandmother,
yeah,
I'm a grandma. Can
yeah.
you imagine,
I can't. I'm like, how are you a grandmother?
can you imagine
I
if
don't
this
think
had
I'd
been,
be able to cover them.
no, there's no way. If my daughter had done, no.
Yeah,
Not.
my mother would not have made a documentary about it or put it on social media. She would have quietly gone to the courts and taken custody of my child
Yeah.
because she would have been afraid at that point for my as a grandmother, because that's at that point your child is an adult. They can make their decisions, but you're going to protect that child.
Child.
My mother would have not. My mother's too classy for that. She would have not put
Yep.
anything out about what was going on to the
Nope.
public. It would have been
Nope.
closed lipped.
Close
She
lipped
would
and
have
done.
still
And
Yeah, continue to talk to me and but make sure that child is protected. And so that gives me, it makes me feel like she's just as like much of a problem as the Blanchards are.
Well, and she is, and the thing is so is Ken. That's the problem. He's a drama queen, okay, and he always has been. I clocked Ken immediately. The second he came into a chat with me, I was like, this little condescending bitch is not going to talk to me like this. Like, I couldn't stand it. I have not liked him from day one. I made it very vocal that I didn't like him, and that's why he doesn't like me, because I saw through his bullshit immediately, and I'm like, you're a piece of crap. I don't know what you're here for. I don't know if it's money, fame, what the hell you're wanting, dude, but get away. And Christy's obsession with him is really concerning. It's very
weird. That is really creepy.
Like, what got me is he's sitting there on Morbid's panel and he's trashing his own sister.
Yeah.
And he says, people get on the internet and lie for money all the time. No shit, really, Ken? Really? Huh, that's funny.
Your baby mama lied about her homemade documentaries.
Yeah.
So, and then he's like, and unfortunately, my sister is one of those people now. I love my sister, but she's one of those people that's going to be on the internet lying about and I'm just like, oh my God, what is wrong with you to choose this woman like this over the family that all they want is to protect your child, if you have one?
Right. I mean, if my sister, which my sister would never do this, but if she all of a sudden went crazy and started saying stuff about me online, I wouldn't even address it. If somebody said Bryce, I'd be like, I'm not going to address it. This is a family issue. Leave it at that. I mean, my mom said something to my sister and me when we were little once. We were fighting. My mom walked in and she goes, I want you girls to look at each other. You are the only family that you have. One day your dad and I are going to be gone. You're it.
Yep.
And I've always remembered that.
Yep. I used to tell my girls that all the time because I was an only child growing up.
Yeah.
I now have found out I have 7 brothers and sisters on both sides of my adoptive, my biological family.
Because you had a Rod Blanchard for a father too.
I did. I have a sister who's 25. Like, well, she's
Jesus.
She's 27 now. But when I found her, she was 25 and I was, 50. So, but and I had a mom that had 3 husbands, or three baby daddies. So, but where was I going with this?
With your siblings being family
and just I don't know, the family that they have, it's so odd. They don't have love or care or consideration for each other. Like, I don't know, it's just
weird.
It's so weird.
But
I can't imagine trashing them like this, like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm going on Thursday. I'm leaving to go on vacation with my sister and her kids for a week. I know I'm going to be woken up early in the morning by my nieces and nephews, but I don't care because I love them. I'll change their diapers. My boyfriend's even excited because the kids love him too. And like, we're making some money to give the older ones so they have spending money. Like, that's I want those memories. And I want my nieces and nephews to know that if anything happened to their parents or even not, like, they have an aunt and they have an uncle and they have family.
You never see Aurora's aunts and uncles anywhere around her or posting about her, talking about her, or anything like that. And you don't see Gypsy posting the normal milestones like, oh my God, she did this today, I'm so excited, la 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 la. No, nothing about Aurora. It's all about her.
I mean, even as an aunt, like my youngest niece, she's young for her age, for her group. She just turned 5 literally last week. But so she was like, when she turned 4, she was really kind of 3 when her friends were 4. And I was concerned. And my mother was like, no, she's fine. Like, it's just her, it's just as an aunt, I was observing this, concerned. And, on my nieces and nephews' birthdays, the minute I wake up in the morning, I'm trying to FaceTime them. Right. It's like, that's so you don't see that from Mia. You don't see
this from the family at all. You don't see them excited about this child in any way, shape, or form. And anytime you see the child, she's being ignored.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
I thought Mia was supposed to be the godmother.
Right. Well, Dylan's supposed to be too, but I'm thinking Dylan,
I'm the godmother of my oldest nephew. They might have made a mistake with that, but but I take that very seriously. I mean, I would give anything. I mean, we had a big family discussion at Christmas. My mother was finishing up some will stuff, and we were just laughing about it. And I looked at my nieces and nephews, and I said, "Well, you guys are my heirs because I don't have children." And we started laughing at it. I was like, and Todd knows who give the jewelry to the girls, and it's but
Right.
that family camaraderie of taking care of each other. And poor Aurora, I have great memories of my aunts and uncles. My dad's youngest sister was like in her early 20s when I was a kid, and I loved my Aunt Elizabeth.
Great memory, yeah.
Yeah, and she used to take me to get before she got married and had kids. She used to take me to get like ice cream. Like I want in these aunts
and like when I first got married to my husband, I got 2 nieces inherited, and then the third came after we were married. And it's like I can't imagine, like it was instant like protection of them.
Yes.
Like instant, like I don't get this family. It just there is no loyalty, no love, no camaraderie, no we're gonna get through it together. It just it's the weirdest. And I don't know, it doesn't even feel like a family.
Doesn't it feels like a cast of characters?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I think when Autumn or Tara, however you say her name, said she is tired of ignoring the fact that she murdered her mom. That to me, when she said that said a lot to me. I mean, that's probably why you hear Ken saying, "No, I didn't see this. No, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that."
I know
because they are a family that sweeps shit under the rug. You know what I mean?
I remember what you were saying, Bryce. You were saying your mom used to make you tout to your sisters and tell each other that they're the only ones. I did the same thing with my kids. I'm like, look, when Daddy and I are dead and gone, that's all you're going to have. That's it. Yeah. It's you and your sisters. You don't have anyone else in this world. It's you and your sisters. You don't have big family relations on this side or that side. It's you and your sisters. So when we're gone, that's it. That's all you've got. That's the 2 people in the world that you're going to be able to count on. Everyone else can come and go, but those 2 girls, those are your sisters. They're going to be your sisters for life. You'll always be able to count on them.
That's your family. That's the family you have.
Yes. In their head, no matter how much they didn't like each other, no matter how. No, and one day that's all you're going to have. And you're going to want to have the shared memory of what you no longer have.
And that love, that unconditional love that you might not hate and not like each other in that moment, but you love each other. My favorite meme I've seen about siblings, it was like sibling relationships are weird. I would totally give you my kidney, but you can't borrow my phone charger. That's and that's sibling relationship. I would absolutely give you my kidney, but you cannot have my phone charger.
I didn't understand how the Petries were acting when it was concerning, Dee Dee and her health and whatever, because it was like with my brother, I was so upset with him. He had cirrhosis and he drank and he kept drinking. And so yes, I was very pissed off at him a lot. And but does that mean I'm not going to come here and be here for him and whatnot because he's on his, deathbed?
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't understand that type of love or lack thereof. I don't know what to call it. I really don't. Yeah. But I was pissed off at him. In fact, as soon as I saw him in the hospital room, I went straight over to him and I said, "What the hell did you do to yourself?" You know what I mean? And then I took a few and then, but still, I was there. And that's what you do.
But even like I said, like with my siblings, okay, so I only know 2 of them. 3 are gone. Three have passed away, and 2 of them don't interact with the family at all, so they don't even know I exist. And then I have my brother on my mother's side and my sister on my dad's side, and then the little sister, she once in a while talks to everybody, But it was like instantaneously. I cared about them, and if they called me tomorrow, I'd be there for them. I don't get this concept of this family the way that they are. I just don't. It just
It doesn't. I would use my body as a human shield for my niece and nephew. I would know my nephew, the firstborn, and I held him in my arms. I remember having this like overwhelming, like, oh, this is what unconditional love is. There is no hesitation. I would use my body without thinking about it as a shield to protect this child.
100%.
Like the new mothers who now, like, okay, if you ask me or you ask Mac, and we're both in the Gen X, generation. If you ask us, would we die or kill for our children? The answer is absolutely 100%. There's no question.
I would do it for my nieces and nephews. Yeah.
These new moms are like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know?
It's like, instantaneous. Of course. I would give my life in a heartbeat. And
I would take a life for it. Okay.
If someone touched my nieces or nephews inappropriately, I would shank a bitch so fast. I mean, the deep ATA Atlanta thug would come out of me because I would go to prison for my nieces and nephews.
Hell yeah.
I would use my body as a human shield for my dog too. I don't understand I'm obsessed with my nieces and nephews. Like the older two are teenagers now, so they're usually too cool. But occasionally I'll text them just to kind of see like who their boyfriend and girlfriends are. Right. But I'm so excited because I'm so obsessed with them. I just think they're the coolest kids ever. I think my nieces are the most beautiful girls to ever walk the planet. I think my nephews are so handsome, and I just I don't understand why this family doesn't have that same.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand
that Gypsy feels for her sister. I don't get that.
That's the thing. Like none of them. There's not a single compassionate, caring, loving person in the bunch. Like that's the thing. Like I don't get it.
My sister, I can't feel. She has the best. I mean, I have a great partner too. Her husband's amazing. She's a great mom. She's got this beautiful home. Like I am so happy for my sister for the life that she's created for herself. I get emotional. She's such an incredible mom. Like I am so. And there was a time that they didn't even know if she would be able to have children. So the fact that she has 4 children, I'm so happy for her. Right. And she's raising just amazing babies. I'm not jealous. Like I want my sister to have the best life possible. So I don't understand Gypsy's. Well, my sister's a trigger. I don't understand that, girl. That's your sister. Like wouldn't you, even if you're down and out, wouldn't you still be happy for your sibling? Like, I don't understand it.
But they don't have it. There's no compassion in their bones. No. It's learned behavior and family traditions. Well, I have to get going though.
So do I. This has been I love talking shit with you. I
love it. I have no idea. So it's like as soon as the video hit and we got confirmation that there was an actual video of the ripping of the blanket, I was like, we gotta contact Bryce.
The so funny thing is, like, you emailed me and I had literally was like, I need to email Fancy. So you sent me an email. I was like, you have my line, girl. I was like, come on. Well, I know that more shit's probably going to come out. So when I get back in like a week and a half, maybe we could reschedule, guys, because this
absolutely. I love this. I love
I always enjoy having the panel with you. I always enjoy it. It's always a good time. We laugh, we have fun, we joke, we get serious, we get angry.
We talk about weird shit. We go to the woo-woo stuff because why not? Hey. It's a weird fucking case. And I want to know, do you guys think we're actually died in 2012 and this is hell? Does that explain this?
I definitely
really started to wonder. I really have
an alternate universe.
Oh, absolutely. I do too. Things have been weird since 2019. So I absolutely agree with you. But you guys, I can't wait for my replay crew because I know I got a lot of replay crew. Please make sure to leave your comments in the comment section. And if you are not subscribed to Fancy Maselli and the Good Wives Club or Mac, it's all in the description box. And as always, if you can, guys, please hype our videos and make sure you're checking because all the cool kids live on Shadow Ban Lane.
Right.
So make sure you're checking, make sure you're still subscribed and share the video out, guys. And as always, thank you so much, ladies, for this. This was a great girls gab. And for you guys that were in the chat section. So have a wonderful evening, everybody. And we will talk very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye,
thanks for being here, everybody.
Bye.
On the run, you scream and everybody